also St. Louis, Missouri, also Massachusetts, also Oklahoma, Seattle, Washington, Detroit, Michigan, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Sacramento, California, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Denver, Colorado, and Kansas, Missouri, home of the three-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Represent lunch with the Missouri by Chamber of Commerce for a cold January 24, 2026. My name is Al Function Wholesale Creator number out loud and also. How you doing, Brother Scott?
I am having more fun than I should possibly be allowed, Brother Ira.
Yes, sir. And right now, people are not aware in the St. Louis area around the country. Most places we talking to today, they have cold wave ice coming their way. Some see from up there. We hope to be joined later on by Scott DeBoer, but we are broadcasting live on Ferguson USA, HotTalkRadio.com, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch from beautiful Woodson Terrace, Missouri, and also from St. Louis City, and also from Arnold. And also, like now, we said thank you as you get ready. This is one of the coldest periods of the year and years to have coming here, okay? We're going to say thank you so much for making us for your weekend. It was about Chamber of Commerce. We've been doing this since 2015, every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. And also, we can do it again tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. and also again on Wednesdays. God, out here.
Prayer. We can pray with Elder Allen Loud, who's the pastor of one of Mount Temple Church, located 5 plus under that U.S. North St. Louis 63120. And right now, Elder Allen Loud, who is being our prayer for the week, he's also the pastor of the Waldorf Mount Temple Church, located 5 plus under that U.S. North St. Louis 63120. And the next verse you'll be of Elder Allen Loud, pastor of Waldorf Mount Temple Church, located at 55. Let me ask you a question, Real. How long have you been pastor of the church there?
Huh?
How long have you been pastor there?
Whoa! I've been a pastor there ever since I've been saved.
Okay, my God. Okay. Now that is something else, Real. Okay, I just thought we never talked about that. Okay. So we count those years up later on. Okay. So anyway.
Yeah. See, I was at another assembly, and God sent me over to the Walnut Park to teach. Cause see, I teach leaders.
Okay.
That's my calling. I'm like Moses them. You know, Moses them taught Aaron and all them, and I'm the same way.
Okay. Well, on that note, we have a prayer for today, if you don't mind.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we continue to thank you for waking us up this morning. And Heavenly Father, we thank you for your death, burial, and resurrection, that we are passed from death unto life before we sleep and after we sleep. We thank you we're already seated in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. Our name is written in the Lamb Book of Life. And Heavenly Father, I should bless the sick all over the universe, Heavenly Father. You know what to do. And Heavenly Father, pray that we have a wonderful fellowship with you and discuss the word where people get a understanding and continue to grow in grace and the knowledge of the truth. In Jesus' most precious name, amen.
Amen, Rev. Thank you so much, sir. And again, thank you. Okay, so what you got for us this week, Rev?
I'm coming out the Old Testament, and I'm gonna be doing some expounding and explaining different things from these scriptures. You know, I ain't got no special subject, but I'm just talking about the future, what's gonna happen, what's gonna take place.
Prophecy, in other words.
Yeah.
Okay, well, on that note, we should get our pencils out and our notepads. Am I right?
Yeah. If you like.
Okay, well, I got mine here. I'm learning to do that with you, okay? Go ahead.
Okay, the chapter is Daniel, the 7th chapter of Daniel.
Okay.
And up above the title said, the visions of Daniel. Daniel from 7 chapter from verse 1 to 13. The beast vision of Daniel. Now I'm going to talk about what this vision of the beast of Daniel is. Number 1 said, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter. See, right here, Daniel was visiting, in Daniel dreams and stuff, he was visiting Satan. He was coming up against Satan now. The people don't really talk about that, but if you look at what this saying, this said Babylon. Babylon is what Satan had the children of Israel to build that tower. That was Babylon. So
that's the one they're going to build in heaven, right?
Yeah, that's why God told him he going to come down to man and see what's going on.
Okay.
See, Babylon is the new city, and also it's the new place where Satan going to be there when the Lord come back to take the church. Before he take the church out, he gonna take the church out. But this gonna be doing tribulation is Babylon when he gonna knock him out of Babylon because he gonna be sitting on the throne. Then he go on and say, Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heavens scroll up on the great sea. Now he talking the 4 winds. That's north, south, east, and west. You know, down by the equator, stuff was coming that way. From Canada, it was coming that way. From the Pacific Ocean, coming that way. And from the Atlantic Ocean, coming that way. This is what Daniel talking about. All these things happen. And then he said the Great Sea. So the Great Sea is the Mediterranean Sea on the other side of the universe. Okay, verse 3. It said, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. They were 4 great beasts. These beasts were something else too. Well, as we go on down, they're going to explain some of the Greece and what the beast is and all that. They're going to explain that.
Okay, come on, bring it right up, bring it.
The world empire, Nebuchadnezzar. The 4th verse said, the first was like a lion. It had eagle wings. I beheld to the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand up on the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Now this right here, this beast right here, stood up on the feet and he was a man. And I think it ain't talking about no other than about Satan. People don't ever talk that, but I believe that's talking about Satan. Because the Lord don't come in this way. Satan comes in different kind of forms and shapes and attributes too, because he's supposed to be the most highest to God, next to God. Then they go on to say, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear. Okay, you know a bear is a very strong and powerful animal.
And big too.
Yeah. So that bear when he stand up, boy, he's very tall.
And you gotta run too.
Yeah. Best not to come in his path. And they can like run about 60 miles an hour.
A bear can go that fast? Jeez.
Yeah, he go that fast.
Oh.
Like a bear. And it raised up itself on one side. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. they said, thus until it arise, defile much flesh. That's what the bear do. You know, flesh can be devoured a whole lot of ways by words. You know, this right here is dealing with words of things happen and expressing to you about things that truly happens without the word, but it happens. Because you got wicked people out here that be acting like this right here, that comes up on you. That's why a good example is when you drive in your car and somebody just zoom by you. That's one of them wild beasts approaching you, trying to harm you. And that's the work of Satan. That's what he does in the world. That's how you have all these accidents and this violence and confusion going on because of that. And they go on to say, the world empire of Greece under Alexander. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which has upon the back of his 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Now this is talking about the empire, and this is talking about how the empire is working, and it's also talking about that tall man, which was an idol that Daniel them had to worship. Every time the horn blow, they had to worship this man.
Wow.
You remember that, don't you, Ira?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
They had to worship this man. And this statue is made up of each one of these verses that I'm reading. And it's talking about how the power and the kingdom and what's going to happen. And here's the Roman Empire. See, the Roman Empire going to take over all that. You know who the biggest crook out here is? Your Roman Catholic. Your Roman Catholic Church is the biggest and wickedest people out here. They don't want to run everything in the system. They call the Papa, the Pope, all them. They the crooks that be running everything in the world. We're going to say, after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. See, this is the Roman Empire coming back up, and some is dealing with the legs, the feet, all that's dealing with that, where how it works. Then here's something else. Is the 8th verse said, the 10 kings versus the little horn. That little horn there is nothing but the devil. Verse 8, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes, like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. This right here is letting you know that Satan is a man too. That's who the Antichrist is. Satan, he's a man. And he gonna be in the flesh. Everything God do, he does. Verse 9.
He showed himself a couple of times during the Bible. He showed himself as a man, different things. He showed himself.
Yes, he do. And he ain't no man with no red horn, no red long tail and horns on his head. He ain't like that. That's a fairy tale. Or you can say mythology, myth. Somebody imagined it. Then verse 9 said, I beheld. Now this said the vision of the coming of the Son of Man in glory. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Now who is this Ancient of Days? Jesus Christ, our Savior, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheel is as a burning fire. Now, I just told you, God is a consuming fire. If God is a consuming fire, also Christ is a consuming fire. And just like what we seeing down here, we see figurative and the images of things, but when it comes to the true Lord and Savior, ain't no images. That's why we're consuming fire. That temperature that's in your body, the 98.6 temperature in your body, is what God gave to Adam when he made him of the dust, and then he blew a living soul. That temperature in your body, that living soul, is fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousand ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. Talking about the angels. The angels are Muriels. M-A-R-I-A-D-S. Muriel means you can't count them. It's so many. And that's the same way that the mystery of the church of Abraham's seed, you ain't going to be able to count them. It's so many. Him and the judgment was set, and the books were open. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words, which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. Verse 13. This right here is the beginning of Christ's second coming that I just got to read. This is a scene in heaven before the coming of the Son of Man, verses 9 through 12. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which should not pass away, and his kingdom that which should not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the thing. These great beasts, which are four kings, which should arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High should take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, and even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth was of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the others which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake a very great thing, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and he came. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast should be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which should be diverse from all kingdoms, and should devour the whole earth, and should tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that should arise, and another should rise after them, and he should be diverse from the first, and he should subdue 3 kings, and he should speak great words against the Most High, and should wear out of the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and law, and they should be given into his hand until a time and the dividing of time. But the judgment should sit, and they should take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven should be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions should serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much trouble me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. Amen.
Amen.
All that is telling us what our future is. Everybody's in Christ. You see what's going to happen. It's a victory. Even before it happens, it's a victory. He already told. He's speaking, then he bring it to pass. Look out!
See one thing, Rev. Right now, as we just look around us, you can't be mentioned there. We say this almost every week, okay, that we live in some crazy. Well, I have to say this, okay. In California, people move to California because they don't see no snow, right?
Yeah.
And look what happened now.
It's snow there now.
You got snow there now.
Hey, I keep telling them that the Lord said the world gonna wax worse and worse. And you know how California is falling off into the sea?
Mm-hmm.
This is the beginning of the United States not being in prophecy, and it's withering away by the water. It's making the changes. God is making this desolated land. That's why you have to go back over on the other side of the universe.
Well, Rev, that's on both coasts, okay, and also that's happening also down there, in Mexico also. But anyway, that's a story for another day, okay, Rev. We want to thank you so much for that message today. That's Reverend Pastor Allen Lyles, Pastor 104 Bible Chapel Church in North St. Louis on 55 Pleasant Avenue, and also that's Scott Owen.
Good afternoon, St. Louis again, and welcome back. Matter of fact, wherever you are right now in the United States, we are having a cold winter for the first time in a long time. Can I say that we are having real cold weather, almost from coast to coast, and right now, 2/3 of the country is facing extreme cold weather, and a massive winter storm is stretching over 2,000 miles with heavy snow and begin falling. Some places already. But right now, you can expect anywhere from like 10 inches or more in some cases. Temperatures already in the single digit. I know here in St. Louis, it's down in the 4 and 5, and it's going to continue to drop. And this is probably like one of the high points out there here, okay? But wherever you are, okay, the ditch is going to continue going down. And right now, we know that tomorrow on Sunday and on Monday, but here in our area, we know there's forecast that we're going to get more snow. We got some snow already. But what I can tell you, if you can, or if you haven't already did this, stock up. If you go into the grocery store, prepare for a fight. The basic things that people need is milk and things like that. You need some salt for your driveways or for your walkways. Please make sure you do that. But right now, we're experiencing a major storm, something we haven't seen in quite a few years. Now, this is not something that's going to go away. You said it may miss me. Well, don't plan on that. This is something that's very drastic. And as a matter of fact, to make matters worse right now, this past year, the Trump administration has been cutting back on FEMA. But I mean that, getting rid of the contractors for flying some of the staff. It goes back to those days. Well, now, just this past week, what FEMA is doing is that the contractors' contracts expire, which means that what we depended on in the past, help from FEMA, may not be coming the way you found it, especially years ago. Like even now, you're in the city of St. Louis, we had a tornado back in this past summer. Well, I should say back in the spring, back in May 16, as a matter of fact. Did the tornado. Well, we still waiting right now for FEMA and for federal funds to still get to St. Louis. Matter of fact, that's because the staff and the personnel in the FEMA that we used to know, they no longer have boots on the ground. So we're facing these catastrophes, but we don't have the help that we become accustomed to from the federal government. So now even not just here in St. Louis, where you may be right now, but this is taking place all over the country. Matter of fact, you recall past year or so we had problems over in North Carolina where we had the tornado hurricane came ashore. Well, in those places, they are still waiting for help from people. So again, what I'm saying to you, be prepared for your own self. Look out. Get in contact with your local governments. We always say all politics are local. So right now, get in contact with your local state government, your local county offices, or your local cities. And right now, they are prepared for the snow, whatever. Please make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're prepared. That means getting some eggs. If you don't have, get extra eggs, get extra milk and bread. But if you go to the stores right now, he's in the St. Louis area, you're a little bit late now because they were fighting from yesterday and the days of Saturday, and a lot of programs are shutting down. Church programs, activities for the weekend. This is something that's real. And this thing is stretching, as I have seen, this storm is stretching over 2,000 miles across the country. And so please make sure that you're protecting yourself, doing the thing that you need to do to be safe. And also, didn't want to talk about this today as much as that. But right now in our country, when it comes to Minneapolis, it's just a shame to what's taking place up there. Unfortunately, we had another killing today. Another white man was killed. And the details are going to be real sketchy. There'll be denials. Right now, the federal government is not working with the local government. The local government, I said, the local police department. local, highway patrols or the federal state investigators. So again, we are in a time right now in our country, people, that we never seen before. Because right now, it is illegal, supposed to be illegal, I should say, for the federal government to be on our streets. I mean, it's like, it's like we have war in our own country, and these protests are taking place. Some are peaceful. One thing that was said, that the governor and the chief, the mayors were saying, something that was learned during the civil rights era with Dr. King. When you protest, we went to train. I said we people. I actually protested myself and a lot of people. How to be nonviolent. How not to be baited into something, to do something, or say something, or respond to the police department in those days. But now you have the ICE agents who are intimidating the people, who put tear gas and other stuff in your faces. And really, this is what you see in other countries. And right now, I hate to say this may be coming to a city near you. So this is something that we never was accustomed to in the United States, of seeing stuff like this. So again, I ask you, please, be a little patient as you're watching this. Matter of fact, one of the things that's going to take place here is this continue to escalate. You're seeing the government tell us now, do not believe what you see with your own very eyes. We all saw that young lady, a couple weeks ago, and now even I have another man that lost his life. And these are not refugees; these are citizens. By the way, for the record, in Minneapolis, like Missouri, we have an erratic carry state. So this man was carrying a gun. It was legal for him to carry a pistol. Anyone can carry a pistol in Missouri over the age of 18. Likewise, in the state of Minnesota, I may not be sure of the age that you can start carrying, but right now, if you're an adult, you can carry a pistol, a firearm, and it's legal. So he didn't do anything illegal, but as the details begin to come out, we hope for the details to be accurate, okay? And see what happens. All I can ask you to do is just pray for Minneapolis, pray for all the cities. And one of the things that is starting to take place now, you're watching that the federal courts are now starting to push back on some of the things that are taking place. As a matter of fact, a major victory for DEI and education funding for schools and colleges as the Trump administration dropped its appeal, for a federal judge ruling, found that the anti-DEI effort violated First Amendment federal procedural rules. Now this is good news. The dispute Center on Federal Guidance telling schools they could lose money if they practice, practice what the administration labeled as diversity and equity inclusion. As a matter of fact, I am remiss. We just had another Dr. Martin Luther King holiday weekend this past weekend. Dr. King died, and right now you're hearing a lot in the news about Black history being taken down. That history did not exist. Things that I did as a Black man, and we watched things take place around our country when we had Blacks building things, trying to take us out of it. Matter of fact, in New York and in Washington, D.C., there are so many things that the Black people did as a part of this country. And now there's an effort afoot to try to take that recognition away. There's no need to try to take away all the things that what Dr. King fought for, all the rights that he fought for. He's the only person that I know, the only black person to get a federal holiday. He's the only person to get a holiday that was not a president. And so now, that's something that we should all be proud of. That our country, to lead on that. And all this took place in the Lyndon Johnson era, so people are aware, where we had to march on Washington. It was peaceful marches. Matter of fact, some years after that, not long ago, Minister Louis Farrakhan led the Million Man March on Washington also again. That was very peaceful. And in years since then, Reverend Al Sharpton and Dr. King Jr., the third, they have had marches also, and all been very peaceful. So again, as we see how you demonstrate as a way to do it peacefully, this is something that we must understand and not be pushed or baited into something that may be sorry for. And also, showing how things right now are. The president's administration is trying to find this young lady. Let me digress again. There's a fight right now between the Federal Reserve Bank, which is an independent agency that did rates and stuff for our country. Well, right now, President Trump bid the Federal Chairman Powell, Jerome Powell, to lower the interest rates. Well, to do that, he is trying to change the composition of the Federal Reserve Board, of the commissioners, of governors, I should say. Well, when he did try to do it for a black lady, Lisa Cook, but she refused to step down. And so now her case is being heard before the Supreme Court. And in hearing this past week, Chairman Powell was there along with her. And in hearing the courts, they were very, very sensitive to the laws that this is an independent agency that should not be controlled by the president. And so one of the Justice Kavanaugh made observation that we should not be making these changes as the president is trying to do, because what happened is the next president may want to do the same thing. So again, this may be an ongoing thing. So right now, I do not think that Ms. Cook will be removed from the Reserve Board, and she will serve out her tenure. And also, with Chairman Powell, his tenure ends up runs until this May. Now, also the Supreme Court said no president ever found a sitting government in the 112-year history of the Fed, which was structured to be independent of day-to-day politics. One of Trump's appointed to the board, I just said, Brett Kavanaugh said, he's five other justices, matter of fact, they was reported of the 9 justices sound skeptical about the efforts to remove Ms. Cook from office. And so now, I'm feeling that she will survive this challenge. She will continue to serve out her term, which is a good thing. Now, while we have this conversation about the Fed, that I'm remiss if I didn't tell you right now that in our country, there's a measles outbreak that's taking place. Unfortunately for our country now, there have been changes at the CDC, and there have been new rules made, and vaccinations are not taking place as they should. Experts fear that vaccines preventable the virus is gaining a foothold, that the United States may soon fall again and lose our achievement of having eliminated measles. That means that we've formulated and defeated this. But right now, to show you how bad this is, in the year 2000, we have not had this many measles cases. Right now, there have been over 2,241 cases. Well, that was back in 1991. Well, we are way beyond that right now. We are way beyond that. So In fact, the Revelations law is symbolic and used on when a single measure chain has spread uninterrupted within the United States for these 12 months. For these 12 months, and so that's what last year, this got a foothold, and this is not good for the music again. No, please talk to your doctors, for your kids, get them vaccinated because they're going to school and bringing other kids, other people, okay, they can get measles. Please, 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 please. And while we have this conversation, the flu season is upon us. My voice sounds funny because I've been dealing with the weather here in St. Louis. We had 45 degrees on Thursday, and it started falling ever since then. And then I would have been going back up. Well, right now we're in a stretch. Matter of fact, we are experiencing a bad flu season where the majority of the country are facing the highest outbreaks since 1997, 1998 flu season. That's 1998. That's how long we have gone without a flu season like this. So please get your flu shot, get your vaccinations. In most cases, you can get them from through your health departments, from your local or state, and in most cases they are free. But please get a flu shot. Go to your Walgreens, CBCs, or wherever you get them at. If you have insurance, make sure you get your flu shot. Right now, you're susceptible. You're going out. Now's the time to wear your face mask. Matter of fact, your face mask also keep your face warm also. But right now, you should be wearing it for your own security because this is alive and well. And also, as we facing this cold weather, we're asking you to check on your neighbors because right now this is something that's very real, and that by checking on your neighbors, you do a wellness check, especially on your senior citizens. And in a lot of cases now, people are facing what we hate to talk about. But a lot of people have lost their insurance. What we know is Obamacare expired, and so now in Congress there's a fight to try to get insurance back for people. Your Medicaid has been cut, and over 20-something million people have been affected by this, and it doesn't seem like Congress is going to be able to make a difference, okay, or be able to restore some of those benefits. Right now, one of the things that you hate the most, okay, is to be without insurance. Because right now it's that with the vaccines, diseases, things that we took for granted, like flu shots, measles shots, and all the other shots that we all got. Basically, we went to school. So now I ask you, please, if you can, make sure your kids are vaccinated. And if you haven't got your vaccination or your shot, matter of fact, COVID is also still in the air also. For all these pandemic things that we went through, all these diseases that we went through, they are still very much they're airborne. And if people start sneezing and you go someplace, please step away. Put on your face mask if at all possible. These are things for you, for your safety. As a matter of fact, please wash your hands. These are all basic things that we all take for granted. And so this is not what we call a good time. Now, while all this is going on around the world, the United States we have found ourselves at one of the most vulnerable times that we have in our lives. It's my lifetime, my 77 years on this earth. That right now we have very few friends in any countries. The president seems to take great pride in insulting leaders of other countries. There's been a lot of mistruths, okay, about what countries coming to our aid. I remember in 9/11 when we had the Twin Towers and the plane crashes in our country. that the whole world pretty much came to our rescue. And all, I mean, no matter how big they were, and we were able to, for the most part, to defeat that. And so now as we look back, it is part of the history, okay, that needs to be told also. So that's why I said you need to learn your history. It's very important that you do. And also, one of the things that you need to understand is that the mortgage rate I just talked about, this is kind of funny. A 30-year mortgage rate rose back in 0.9% from 6.6%. Now it went down that last week. It went back up now. A year ago, the same interest rate was up to 6.96%. Now this is not a good thing to do, okay? Because right now, as this is going back and forth, the interest rate determines a lot of things, and a lot of our things that we're talking about right now is taking place. Matter of fact, this past week, our Vice President, J.D. Vance, and I keep coming back to Minnesota, okay, because there's so much international stuff going on. But right now, we need to keep the eye on the prize, which is in our own countries, which is in our own cities. Because as we look around, we're finding that things that are taking place for the first time in a long time. We've watched our President Donald Trump just to see his lowest approval rating in his second term, according to American Research Group. Meanwhile, Trump wants to sue the New York Times for their recent poll showing approval ratings in all categories as being low. As white women now are turning their backs on, no numbers are going down. And so now our president seems to have a different way of looking at things. But I know this may sound not crazy to a lot of people, but to some. But to me, please pray for our president, Heavenly Father. He needs our prayers. The Bible tells us to pray for our leaders. And that's something we need to do, maybe hard. Now also, the one that I want to go over here, former Special Counsel Jack Smith appeared before the House Judiciary Committee this past week about the investigation of how President Trump's we're trying to overthrow the federal government, and also about taking documents from the government. Well, he told the committee he stood behind his decision to bring charges against Trump in separate cases that accused the Republican of conspiracy to turn over the 2020 presidential election after losing. And also, another thing that's very important that we must understand is that here in St. Louis, for years, okay, we've been asking you to pray for us here, for carjacking and our murder rates to go down. Well, they have gone down for the first time. Murders and carjacking has gone down, which is a good thing. And also, we all depend on the internet for what we do. So here right now, in Iran, they've been without internet for the last 2 weeks. And this is the thing right now, it's been shut down there. So now as we watch turmoil around the world that's going on, please make sure that you're looking out for your altar as much as you possibly can. And also, we're going to bring in take a small break here. You listen to Ferguson USA, HotTalkRadio.com. My name is Aaron, folks. Welcome to the channel. So beautiful Saturday afternoon, on a cold Saturday afternoon sky down here. to the Missouri Chamber of Commerce on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Cold Saturday across the country. Yes. Please stay warm, stay inside as best you can. There's so much going on in the news this week, okay? That was kind of hard not to talk about certain things. But we were talking about some positive news in the Black community. We have one of my special guests, one of my very good friends, Miss Aleta Anderson. How you doing, Miss Anderson?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me back on the show. Always glad to be here and speak with you directly and talk about, of course, the historic Miss Black America pageant, which my father founded back in 1968. Before we came on the line, we had a little, I guess, sidebar. A little.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. There's so much we got going on. Matter of fact, in 1968, okay, that's when I came out of high school. Mm-hmm. That's why that year is so important to me, okay? Mm-hmm. And a lot has changed since then, but it's such a blessing, okay, that Mr. Anderson is still alive. And that his dream still, his legacy continues, okay? And it's so important that we make sure his legacy continues. Matter of fact, that we're going out doing this the 58th year for the pageant.
This is the 58th anniversary coming up during the programming of next month. And we're definitely poised for the 60th anniversary. As you know, since you trailblazed the 50th anniversary Miss Black America pageant programming being hosted by Kansas City, Missouri, that now that we're coming up on the 60th anniversary, it's been almost 10 years since then.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah, sure it does. But that's the main programming that we're poised for, and a lot of the content we've been building over the past several years will come together not as a collage, but as a pathway to the 60th anniversary crowning of Miss Black America and the documentary of the Miss Black America pageant, which, as you said, since it was founded in 1968, times sure have changed. Sometimes have remained the same. Some things have come full circle. I mean, things have changed. Technology has changed in some of the ways that we do things, but that we could all change our minds and change our attitudes and become more positive and become more joined with regard to human interest is very important. And that's where the conversation kind of took us during the break. And I was letting you know. And there's a lot to talk about regarding the Miss Black America pageant, but we did the first senior Miss Black America pageant during the 55th anniversary in Atlantic City, which is the first time we went back to Atlantic City during the pivotal year 1968, the year you graduated from high people, and the year so many things happened. Martin Luther King was assassinated. So many people.
Let's take a small break, okay? Let's pause, okay? Let's tell the people, okay, how your father...
Ira, you're breaking up.
Okay, so hold on one second here. Okay, that's right here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, Ms. Anderson, I'm back.
Much better.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let's stop right here. And why don't we tell people right now how the pageant came about? Why Mr. Anderson wanted to make the Miss Black America pageant? Tell us.
Well, he was talking to my older sister and I, and at the time, I guess we were maybe 5 and 7 years old, something like that, and asking what we wanted to be when we grew up, and we said we wanted to become Miss America, which was, kind of jolting for him, because there's a lot said in that sentence in those times when you say you want to be Miss America, and it wasn't that he created a pageant for his little girls. I think that's the way it's interpreted sometimes. Oh, they said they wanted to be Miss America, so he created the pageant just for them. He created a pageant for women of color, and a stage and a platform and a program for women of color to, to span time and space, and for them to become more confident, and also to allow them a microphone where they can have their point of view and state their point of view loudly or softly, where they can perform their talent, and where they can be beautiful, and confident in their beauty, and not want to be anyone else, not want to be Miss America.
Well, when we say Miss America, okay, it does not include beauty, okay. It includes a lot of other skills that goes into a person into having a pageant.
Well,
it's a pageant, not a beauty contest.
It's not a beauty pageant or beauty contest. The Miss America pageant was a beauty contest, and more recently they took that out of the title. But with regard to Black women and beauty, just politically and systematically, it takes beauty to another place. That's not something superficial, because we as a people, were taught to consider ourselves the opposite of beauty in comparison, to the other race, and it goes way back, and it's deep seated. Some little girls, two little girls could have the exact same feature, but one, just because of the dark complexion of her skin, could hate her own skin and the skin of her mother and her grandmother and her heritage. So these are all of the things that he wanted to disrupt. And he did with the Miss Black America pageant stage, and celebrating Black women, their intelligence, their intellect, their talent, their wisdom, and their appearance, from the lightest hues to the darkest hues, and within the diverse body contours and shapes, and the different timbres of our voices, and et cetera, and all of our diversity just within the Black race. And as we know, anyone who traces themselves genetically back to the beginnings, that is the beginning of the human race. But it took all of that time, post the slave trade. It was embedded, and then it was promoted in the media, because we didn't have a space in mainstream media. So all of these things had to be dismantled, and he was an architect and a
having said that, okay, he had this program for the first time. He was on national television also. That was such an amazing talent all by itself.
The very first pageant was not televised, and you were saying it's not a beauty pageant. It is a protest pageant. It is an activist pageant. It is an opportunity pageant. So that first one, out of protest, was staged right across from the Miss America pageant, where there were no Black women on that stage. And at one point there had been no Black women on any level of the Miss America pageant, except in 1921, where they had Black women acting as slaves during one of their production numbers. So he took the Miss Black America pageant there out of protest, and they they paraded, and we recreated that parade in 2024. They paraded down the boardwalk past Boardwalk Hall, which was the home of the Miss America pageant annually, down to the Ritz-Carlton, where the Miss Black America pageant would be staged. And my father never imagined. He imagined the growth of the pageant and the impact of the pageant, and the pageant made the biggest change, changing the minds of our own people about how we thought about ourselves, and about the great lengths that we have already traveled, and that we can continue to do so. However, all of the press came out for this, national press. You know, back then, we didn't have all the outlets we have now, but we had
No. We only had three networks. You know.
Yeah, ABC, NBC, CBS, also Le Monde of Paris, BBC, NPR. You know, globally, he received the attention. You know, and the spotlight with regard to this groundbreaking thing that he was doing, and that where his daughters and no daughters had to say, I want to be Miss America, or I want to be anyone, and it not be something that was achievable. So he didn't want that to exist, and it wasn't just in the bubble. It was way outside of the bubble of his own two daughters.
What's the beauty of that, Mr. Anderson? That he allowed every black father, including myself, the doors okay. You can be wherever you want to be. And he he's led by example, and that showed that it was possible what he did with you and for his daughters.
And also for there not to be one example for beauty. I mean, even among the white race, the example of beauty, in those days for the Miss America pageant was very limited. So that was the thing, that we needed to know that we were beautiful, and that our fathers and all of our people needed to look upon the black woman with respect and uplift her.
Okay, Anderson, let's talk a little bit. What was your father's background that gave him the wherewithal to be able to make this take place?
Well, I mean, he has a very diverse background. He's one of the first black men who started his own stockbrokers firm, prior to the Miss Black America pageant, and publishing, and he was an event producer. He had been doing that since his early days, even before he went into the military, before college and things like that. And then in Atlantic City, just like now, there's many places that peak during the summer, and they sleep after Labor Day. So you could do events there after Labor Day, and the hotel prices were lower, and the cost of production and things were lower. So he actually had been having events in Atlantic City prior to the pageant being there. But then, with all of this and the political unrest and everything that was happening, I mean, Malcolm X was saying black women were most unprotected, most disrespected, most,
Well, right now, you are one of the most beautiful things, beautiful creatures. So right now, which I take great pride in trying to read in the Bible. Okay, all that was created around blacks. Yeah. And so now having said that, he did this, and our country has been the beneficiary. Okay, I said that what this man did, it can be done. He did it every year for over 50 years. That is a hard thing to do.
And the first one, I guess back to your original question, the first pageant wasn't televised, but it was a global event, and it received all the notoriety. The second pageant was televised for Madison Square Gardens. He went into a partnership with Madison Square Gardens, and that was in 1969. That was also where the Jackson 5 made their first television appearance. Curtis Mayfield, he wrote the song, God Bless Miss Black America, the theme song, and performed it in that year, 1969. And Stevie Wonder serenaded the contestants with my Sharia more. And in fact, as we've been gathering, information and gathering all of the people and the family of the Miss Black America pageant since those days, we were talking to Geo Smith, who was Miss Black America 1969. And she was just talking about how it felt, what the experience was like, and many of the young women, because she was already a model at that time, so she had some experience on the stage and in the spotlight. But many of the women come from, just like with other pageants as well, they come from around the country, from small towns, and they make their way to this national stage and the opportunity, and they become the celebrity. And now you are sharing a stage with the Jackson 5 and with Curtis Mayfield or Billy D. Williams or all of the many people, of the times and of the current times.
One of the things, okay, all the women that participate, don't would have to win, okay. Like Oprah Winfrey did not win, okay, but she was able to compete in the contest.
She did.
The women.
And she said,
right.
Later she said, I didn't. She was Miss Black America Tennessee, and she said that she said she didn't place, but she left the Miss Black America pageant feeling anything was possible.
Right. Look at that.
So the founder of the pageant, my father, J. Marsh Anderson, he also created the word positivity, and if you Google positivity in New York Times, there's an article about that, and that positive nature and outlook and confidence, was something very important for him to instill in people at large, but especially as a part of the motto and the oath of the Miss Black America pageant.
Yeah.
The motto is sow the seeds of positivity and reap the flowers of success. And so now with that, and I don't want to confuse the audience, because the Miss Black America pageant has a very long and colored story. There's been challenges. There's been just many celebrations. We celebrate every time we crown a new Miss Black America that can spread the good word and put her hand out to the younger age groups, and also make an impact on communities worldwide. But so I was telling you that when we did go back to Atlantic City for the first time since 1968, we also had added our inaugural senior Miss Black America pageant, where we crowned our first senior Miss Black America, Liz Dicker, who's from the I guess the New York metro area, but I think she's Montclair, New Jersey. The Jefferson Foundation actually is who she represented. But we also crowned our senior Miss Black America New York, who is Her Excellency Dr. Patricia McDougal. And she now, not only does she hold the current title, which she will pass on during the pageant that comes up in February, but she has taken a leadership role with the senior Miss Black America pageant. And we're very appreciative of her participation. But the thing I was talking about is that she just came back from Belize and from traveling the world with a summit. It's a summit for peace, love, and consciousness. And they have ambassadors from around the world. Everybody volunteers, and they travel globally, and they ring this bell, the bell of peace. And they have dignitaries. They make a wish, and then they have this whole other time. I don't quite remember that part. It's like a centennial clock or something like that. And they tie all these things together and use these vibrations to go into the universe to increase peace, love, and bond among people, and respect, and just that respect and alliance, what we would think would allow us to not harm one another's in the disrespectful ways and degrading ways that we often have for a very long time.
Well, unfortunately, one of the unfortunate things is that the black female, over time, okay, and especially in modern times right now, have been become the victim, okay, of so many hardships. I would say, and you just give some examples of how this Black America pageant has raised, lifted these women, okay, until esteem around the world, but they can go places and feel that they have something to share. They have something that they feel that they can participate in and feel good about themselves. And I know I had opportunity to work with several of the pageants, queens, and stuff, like in Chicago. Well, several of the queens, okay, that we when I was working with you guys closely, that when they go places, okay, you'd be surprised in the audience, okay, how much respect people show when you say, I am Miss Black America.
Mm-hmm.
That here, okay, this queen, okay, is getting the respect that she's due. And for this now to now have a senior, the spin-offs, for lack of a better description, okay, meaning that this will continue to go on for years and years and years and years. And as a matter of fact, I spoke to Mr. Anderson recently, and how is he? Is he close by today? Is he?
I'm not with him today. I was thinking maybe I would be, but he's not close by in spirit, and what I have him speaking through me in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just, so I'm always so honored, okay, to talk to this man that has been able to, to change the world, okay, in a positive sense, and that he doesn't get the respect that he's due. Like you just mentioned, okay, that he actually created a word in the dictionary.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's done many firsts. You know what else he created? Back before the Miss Black America pageant, and he was in California, or he was working for one. I don't know if it was Kellogg, variety pack of cereal. When you have all the different little boxes of cereal in the in the pack. Remember that? I don't know if that. I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, these things.
Yeah, he created that. He created that. But that's
wow, they had a boat. They were a boat full.
Yeah, but he also with the Miss Black America pageant, it was about providing the stage for Black women. But now you are an ambassador for all of the Black people. That they see you in your pride, and that can be simultaneously. That they can feel the same thing, but it was also nationally televised, and it was something that was carried weekly in Jet magazine back then, and all of the Black parents.
And all those magazines. No longer around, right? Yeah.
There was which was a lot more influential then, of course, than it is now with all of the numerous over the top outlets and things like that. But it changed the mind and the spirit, of Black women, of Black people, of Black families, of Black concerns. And now it also it increased the positive images, of Black people on a, to the masses globally. So, and then in 1969, he was doing Bob Hope was known for going in, entertaining the troops and all of that kind of thing.
Right.
But in that time, in the 60s and the 70s, the disproportionately Black men, young Black men, generations of Black men were being drafted. And Bob Hope wasn't maybe necessarily what they connected with, and even though I'm sure they appreciate it. But he started a USO tour, and soldiers were saying that, when the Miss Black Americas came and entertained, it felt like a postcard from home, and just how, how helpful that was for them, in that time of, just all of the unexpected, all of the unexpected of war.
When he did Miss Anderson, and I'm put you on the spot. I said I wasn't going to do this, okay? But how does it make you feel, okay, as you talk about your father, and the things that he's done?
I remember after Barack Obama became president, I did an interview, and someone asked me that question. How does it make you feel? That to have this, black, this black man as president at this time. And then it's a dispute whether he was actually the first one or not. But for me, it was more the feeling of he's right where he's supposed to be. It wasn't a feeling of shock, and you know what I mean. I never.
No. So how does it make you?
But that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with my father. Okay. That this was common for me. I thought that all men were like, you know what I mean, of the same fabric, and that they had the same confidence in it when they thought something needed to be changed, that they, because all men can, and they said what one man does, another man can do. So I'm proud of him, of course. I'm cut from his fabric. Of course, and I I know all kinds of stories, all kinds of people, and etc. But I feel as though that he is been activated and fulfilling, what the God's plan, as hopefully we each do, when we get the assignment. So, he's
special.
He's special, but everyone is, and that's the biggest part and the biggest thing I think he wanted to instill. You each are special and have a specialness that you can shine and you can share and you can use deliberately, to increase the community, of us, and increase the community at large.
I recall when I met you guys for the first time. It was cold and you can't see that.
Oh my goodness! I've never been that cold. I've never.
It was cold.
Even now, it's 12 degrees here, but it's not the same.
It's 5 here. It's 5 here. Okay, and we were, I was sitting in the hotel there, and like in the lobby there, and just was talking, okay, and I just felt myself, okay, so inspired talking to a man, okay, that had changed the world and was still changing the world. He was not sitting on his laurels, okay. So, well, I done this, okay. Hey, I'm big this, I'm that. He didn't have an ego like that. He doesn't have an ego like that, and you know that better than most people.
No,
I mean, he sees something to be done, and he goes out. Man, I was talking to my grandson, one of my grandsons the other day, okay, and he was telling me things about me, okay, what people were telling him about me, telling him, okay, and I'm quite sure you've heard all types of stories, okay, from people about your father, that they make you so proud, and they make him so proud when you back and tell him, well, Daddy, guess what, somebody said this, that you did this, and so, but now having said that, next month, okay, this is a very special, pageantry year, because now you're having this, in Black History Month, the month of November, to put this, I see a month of February. I'm sorry, month of February. Matter of fact, through the 15th to the 21st. Okay. So now, having said that, tell us some of the pageantries, the things that's going to be taking place that weekend. Where we said from the 15th to the 23rd.
Yeah.
Some of the things on the agenda.
As you know, there's a variety of programming that occurs during the Miss Black America pageant. First and foremost, the queens will be crowned. The 58th anniversary Miss Black America. They're between the ages of 17 and 29, and this will be our second senior Miss Black America pageant, and that age group is from 55 and over. And we will have our first national Little Miss Black America crown during the press conference. Yeah, during the press conference.
Oh my God!
And they're between the ages of 7 and 12 years old, and that'll take place during the press conference, which will occur on Friday, February 20th. Later that day, Senior Miss Black America will be crowned on Friday, February 20th, and then on Saturday, February 21st, our 58th anniversary Miss Black America will be crowned. Our reigning Miss Black America is Ashley Marie Myatt, and she will crown the new Miss Black America. Our reigning.
What state is she from?
Ashley's from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Hometown. And senior Miss Black America, she will crown the new senior, and so on and so forth. And then we'll have one of our Little Miss ambassadors crowning our Little Miss on that Friday. So the press conference, the crownings, and we're going to have line dance crownings in which the audience can participate. The audience, pending they come early and can learn the choreography, then they are invited to participate in the line dance crowning of each of the queens. We also have a panel discussion annually. It's called Awakening the Giant. And the panel discussion this time around will be Truth Be Told, and it's about safeguarding history, because history is a foundation.
Okay. Now, what city is this will be taking place in?
It will be taking place. We were going to do the positivity cruise, and we did a cruise, and we had a great experience in 2023, and we were going to do the positivity cruise this time around, but just everything.
Things are crazy.
Yeah. The government shut down, and airlines, and there were too many X factors that could allow people not to connect with the ship. So then we had to, without rescheduling the time, that we were trying to maintain the timeline, we had to determine a new destination. And we looked near and far. We wanted to do something compatible with the cruise, but it was too short of a time period. As you know, it takes time to connect with the tourism and everyone that will be involved with providing the facilities necessary. So then I talked to a friend, and I was asking her about another friend of ours who's an event specialist in a media mogul, I'll say, and because he was always asking us to bring the pageant to Delaware, and I was saying, well, what is he doing? Does he have any venues and I was wanting to get his contact information, because it had been some years since I talked with him. And she said, you know what? He just bought, not just bought, but he just I think it's been a few years since he secured a 30-acre historically Black retreat and campsite, where he also has venues, a full kitchen, cabins, and he has outdoor stage. Him like many other places, it's mostly peaks during the summer. I guess camping and all that kind of thing, and then a lot of outdoor concerts. But he still has an indoor venue with a stage. It's called the G&R Campground, and that's in Houston, Delaware. And that's where the Miss Black America pageant is going to take place. And it really ties into, what we do to bring attention and uplift Black programming and sites, and you know, um, as well as what we can bring to a number of tourist attractions and other things, not just specifically Black, but we're especially excited that during Black History Month that we can support this historically owned Black campground, which has it in retreat and concert, arena, which hasn't changed hands, uh, from it's always been Black owned, so that's exciting to do, and that's
Hey,
where
really, I'd like to do a program, okay, with him about the retreat.
Oh, absolutely.
How historically speaking, there's a lot of things, okay, that places, I should say, that we have in our country. As we trying to, and I had to ask this question when we were talking. Excuse me, with administration trying to whitewash, do away with anything that's Black. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you had any problems, with getting sponsors because of that? That you had in the past?
I can't really specifically say, that we've had problems with sponsors because of that. Because there's just there's a number of things that have changed with regard to media and with regard to reach, and audiences and things like that, because there's so many platforms and so many different ways people watch on so many different screens from different locations. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of considerations which impact sponsorship. Additionally, it used to be you can pick up the phone and call and talk to a receptionist and ask to speak with the VP of marketing or and say who you are, and you get a direct line to the person, but that's not the way it is anymore. And if you have to go out and meet people and rub shoulders, otherwise you won't have access, and then I think it ends up being a real tight club that has the access to the sponsorship dollars that are necessary, for programming to reach the heights and to present in a particular way or in a peculiar way. So, but we keep marching and banging the drum, and as I said, we're poised for the 60th anniversary. But this upcoming program is very exciting. That is taking place during Black History Month. That we're uplifting a Miss Black America pageant advocate that has this historically Black-owned retreat site, and that now you also can, shine a light, with your program, and hopefully he gets all the attention, that deserves. We'll have the press conference on his, on his grounds, and do all the things we can do that are compatible and that can be supportive, and those are things that we should do. I know when in 1974, I guess, the pageant was held in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Von Gretchen Shepherd won the title that year, and then the next year it was hosted by Mayor Hatcher of Gary, Indiana. But the way I think they had something like a Black Power.
A Black Expo.
No, not Black Expo. It was a Black Power Summit or something like that, and a lot of the Black leadership had gathered in. I think that was in Gary, Indiana, as well. Anyway, my father had met the then Mayor Hatcher, and for the next 2 years, Gary, Indiana hosted the Miss Black America pageant. So it's been.
There's another man, okay, that's been very instrumental to the Miss Black America pageant history. Is a good friend of mine, a good friend of yours. I was asked right here, kind of Judge Greg.
Oh yeah, sure. And not to mention, of course, your chamber, but the National Black Chamber of Commerce, and then Judge Greg, I guess, is general counsel for them. I don't know what all the other titles might be, but
he got so many titles. I mean, and wait, okay, and he's still going to school also.
Yeah.
But he's been instrumental, okay, in keeping the flame alive. I like a better description. For the pageant.
He has been supportive, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess there's a lot of black men who have seen the beauty, okay, and understanding beauty of our queen, the black female, because I tell any man, okay, that does not respect, a black female, his mother, his auntie, his sister, his grandmother.
That's right.
He has to have issues.
I mean, the sisterhood of Miss Black America isn't just made of women, and the creator of the Miss Black America pageant is a man, that has had ultimate respect for his own mother and for his wife and for his daughters, 3 daughters.
Yeah, right. I have 3 daughters also, so there's a connection there, and I'm just proud of all my 3 daughters, okay, one that they're in good health, okay, and I tell people all the time, I am blessed to have 3 beautiful daughters, okay, who are healthy, who are married, okay, who have families and stuff, okay, and who are doing things in their communities, and stepping themselves and making a difference in their communities. That's what makes me feel good. So I'm quite sure Mr. Anderson must feel. When talking about you, you are an amazing woman yourself, by the way. And I give you, accolades to see how you have taken the Miss America brand itself, okay, and taken it to a new level. That's been very, very, like now, okay. You're taking it now to bring the young girl, the young ladies in, okay. Now that's started a whole new future for Miss Black America. You also brought in,
absolutely.
Brought in now, okay, the seniors, our seniors in. Going back and recognizing those seniors, okay, who have been a part and been instrumental in making sure that this Miss Black America pageantry continues to have a legacy by what they do.
They know the story. They were in this grocery store looking at Miss Black America on the cover of Jet magazine.
Thank you so much.
And that kind of thing. So they're everyone is equally important. And it was brought to our attention that many not just senior black women, but many women of a particular age start feeling invisible. They may have been had a different feeling when they were 25 or 35 or 45 when they walk into a room, or when they, with regard to their presence, and not just about the way that they look and they receive the different kind of attention. Whereas in the flip of a switch, they may feel invisible, but so we're providing that stage and just letting women of all ages, and specifically talking to seniors, that there is no one that flips a switch that makes you invisible. You have your control of the switch. So
Ms. Anderson, you just said something that's so important. I go to a church right now where we have a lot of proud black females, okay? And I'm looking at them now. I'm talking people over 60. Matter of fact, one young lady just had a 90th birthday this past week. You know what I mean? And she had a birthday turnout. Over 150 people showed up for her birthday. You know what I mean? And,
That's more than showed up for my birthday.
but I'm saying, but that just goes to show you that love, okay, and the lives that she's changed, that she has affected over the years. You know what I mean? And I think that if we take time to look back, okay, on each black woman, okay, they don't fade away, okay. We just kind of fade away from them.
Sometimes,
they're forever being active in our lives. You know, are doing things to make us to make the world go around, like I read in the scripture. You know, and I think that's the thing about I love, okay, about the Miss Black America Passion, okay, that you have a vehicle that they can all relate to, and that everybody can relate to.
You're breaking up again.
Okay, hold on a second. How's that better?
Yes.
That we all know a black woman in our lives someplace. I don't care what nationality you are. You know what I mean? You know, we're seeing how beautiful that is. I know her. I know who she is. She helped me. That's the other part about it. The black woman always wanted to be helpful. You know, to her people. And making sure, okay, her families. You know, there's a verse in the Bible which that I'm very proud of. It's in Proverbs 31, and it tells about the wife, okay, how she looks out for her husband and her family, and things that she does to make sure they always taken care of. And it describes, okay, how many ways that like in your case now, you've been a custodian, okay, of your father's legacy.
Yeah.
You know, and you're doing an excellent job.
That's no easy task.
wait, okay. But I'm saying, women will see a task and go deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, and they do it without having to be asked, okay, to do this. You know, women will see things and say, well, I can make a difference. And they go out and make a difference. You know, like right now, in this conversation that we have had here, we are having, I should say, the fact now, in the time that I've known you, okay, I'm seeing you create three components, new components, okay, of Miss Black America. That will live on as a legacy, okay, to Aleta Anderson, daughter of Mr. J. Anderson. You know, and that you worked so hard, okay, and that you sacrificed, I'm quite sure, so much of your life to make this doesn't fall out the sky into place, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a whole lot of coordination, strategic coordination. But these are the things, okay, that take place in running a black business. This is a black enterprise that you have created. Now, like I said, we just talked about earlier on in our conversation about how Oprah Winfrey was changed by her experience, okay, of being involved in the pageantry. You know, seeing how it affected her life, and to see how, I can make a difference. I can do this. You know, I mean, in that fact,
the pageant changes the delegates' perspective in classrooms, in boardrooms, and on all of the stages. You know, it's not about coming to a pageant and just putting on a sash and sashaying.
No.
It's about what you do next and what you can do. You know, even with the sponsorship fees, my father really didn't ever want what he said. He didn't want a black woman to have to go sit across from Mr. Charlie and cross her legs and whatever and ask for money. However, that wasn't what I was taught. I was taught to go get in front of Mr. Charlie or whoever the Mr. or Miss was and is, and not to be afraid to ask for the money, with regard to the value of what you're bringing to the table, and to make sure that that you do have a win-win situation and longevity and programming and things like that. So I was my spin on it is that you are a fundraiser. This isn't about one example. And once a Miss Black America delegate raises her sponsorship fee, if she's a contestant at large, if she's in a pageant, the pageant director pays for the expenses. But once she does it, she can continue to raise funds to support her platform and her journey to the pageant and beyond. And there are many amazing stories of how much money the brand has allowed them to raise. But the thing is that is sometimes that space between someone's idea and their success. The fear of lacking the tools and garnering the tools and using all of your creativity and your resources, and assessing the resources you do have to get from point A to the next point and the next point. And those are some of the things that the Miss Black America pageant instills leading up to the nationals and during pageant week. You were asking some of the things that happen. We have success seeker seminars. We have exercises that help you to eliminate anxiety and or turn it into positive energy, to use for your success and for your best performance, and just so much programming as well as the pageantry aspects, which for someone to come from Little Rock, Arkansas, or Detroit, Michigan, or the Bronx in New York, or St. Louis, Missouri,
even from San Francisco, California,
or San Francisco in California, it takes some willpower to travel to get there. And then once you get there, it takes willpower, diligence, practice, all of the things, to meet the criteria to own the stage. Mm-hmm. But we don't expect you to stop there, we definitely increase the expectations of the participants.
It's the start. That's the start.
That's right. And that's what Oprah Winfrey said. I left feeling anything is possible. And she's going to every stage. I mean, what height has she not reached? And she may have more still that she's contemplating. But and she's one example, and there's been so many.
Just one. You probably can't count how many contestants, they have participated over the years.
And many that come back. They come back, they might participate as a judge or in other ways, and even more so, they're very motivational with regard to their success stories, but also keeping the programming going and keeping the possibilities via the Miss Black America pageant, for other participation for other young women. So
and I guess it's being part of the sisterhood, for lack of a better description, because one of the things it does, it gives you pride. Mm-hmm. Pride is one of the things that that makes a big difference, in how a person carries themselves.
Yeah.
And how they feel about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That I am important. And I just my time and working with you, and even like now, I get that sense of pride from you right now, how much you are inspired by what you're doing, and inspiration, that you're sharing with your family members, and you have created a hell of a family, of all the pageant members,
that know who G. Anderson Doherty is.
He created the Oath of Positivity, and Pearl Bailey read that the Oath of Positivity first, and when the pageant was in Santa Monica at the Santa Monica Civic Center, live on NBC, and one of the lines says, "My actions and my attitudes will always reflect positivity in my mind. My physical appearance will always reveal my positive mental attitude towards life." So, as you said, the way you care.
Say it again, please.
My physical appearance will always reveal my positive mental attitude towards life. But my head health, my high will indicate the positive forces that reside within me. But as you said, with regard to carrying yourself, you know, and how you carry yourself, and how you have to keep moving and carrying yourself with a certain stature, you know, in order to accomplish the goals and all of the inspirations that you receive from above. You know, when you are inspired, even as you know, we going back to the Bible. There's many biblical stories where those who were inspired still give the glory to God as well. The faith didn't have the faith with regard to accomplishing the mission.
The word I was about to use, okay, it is still great faith, okay, and right. Well, most recently, okay, I added you to my nightly list, okay, of prayers that I sent out.
Thank you for that.
You know, and in them, okay, the other night we talked about Hebrews, the first chapter, the 11th chapter, the first couple of verses about the power of having faith. You know how it has changed the world, and how your faith has changed the world. How your father's faith has changed the world. How my faith has changed the world. So right now, what we're doing now, Miss Anderson, cannot be done in a lot of countries right now. You know, right now, right now in Iran, they have a blackout of the internet period right now. We on internet radio. You know what I mean? You know, and we're reaching out to people around the world, even as we speak now. That cannot be done in a lot of places now. We can freely discuss our beliefs, like we just discussed the Bible very freely. We just discussed very freely how we respect our black females. We discussed very freely, okay, how we respect each other. And we just freely discuss it. An event that's coming that you are putting together. With your strength and your faith, okay. See what you're doing, you see something, you're a visionary. You already see what you want, what should take place. You know, next month.
Yeah.
On the 15th through the 21st.
That's the first step, right?
Right. Okay, that's the first step, okay. And then you got to start building on those things. You know, but then everything. I learned this many years ago when I was here in St. Louis. One of our oldest promoters in the country, a group called Regal Sports Production. Matter of fact, they actually brought the Beatles to St. Louis years ago. In fact, all of the major concerts came to St. Louis. They were brought in by Regal Sports, and I was fortunate, okay, for them to commit to me in the promotion business. And something they told me I never forget. He said, "Ira, any day that you pick out, okay, next year, a year from now, next week, okay, the moment you pick a date for an event, okay, everything seems to go work against you." Hey,
I can't. I wish I could say it wasn't true.
But when you pick first, okay, all of a sudden, look at the weather, look at so many things that goes into it, okay.
Yeah.
And I give them many outdoor festivals. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know how I be praying for that the sun be shining.
Mm-hmm.
You praying that people show up. Okay, and as I'm saying, it's strong faith. Okay, to make all that take place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does feel like you're dodging some arrows, and sometimes you might dodge them, but they still hit. They still connect.
They be hitting close. They be hitting close. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a philosophy. I tell my kids. I tell my grandkids the other day, when something happens to me, okay, and when I got to do something, even if I may fail, okay, it's not a failure. But if I survive, I learned a lesson from that failure.
Mm.
It taught me what not to do.
Yeah.
And the next time I know I won't do it. I guess
Mm-hmm.
again, they say don't touch that stove. Well, guess what? We all touch the stove.
Mm-hmm.
Because they told us not to.
Yeah, they always tell you you don't have to put your hand in the fire and get burnt.
Right.
So no, but that's definitely quite learning experience.
What do we do? Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
go touch. We go touch the fire.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but having the faith, okay, that you saw at an early age, okay, what your father could do. And what he did, matter of fact, not what could he do, what he actually did.
He always, in any of those circumstances, he always said, focus on the solution, not the problem. Not to say, like you said, learn from errors, learn from mistakes, remove as many X factors as you can, when going into something. But yeah, it's not much time, and time seems to be moving faster. Sure, it's still 24 hours in each day, but man, it sure does seem to go by in a blink. But
okay, that Miss Anderson, we messed up here. How can people get in contact with you? If some young lady listen to us right now, or some father listen to us right now, and say, I want to get my daughter involved with what they're doing. I want my daughter to be Miss Black America, somebody's granddaughter, a father, a mother, whatever. How can they get in contact with you?
Well, the very next step is to go to the website, MissBlackAmerica.com, MISS BlackAmerica.com, and click on registry from the navigation bar and register. That's the very first thing to do. It's not, the requirements are mostly that you recognize this historic stage of opportunity, and respect it and register and make the journey. And we're with you.
You got to start someplace.
5 minutes, Brother Ira.
Okay, thank you, Scott. You got to start someplace.
So yes, MissBlackAmerica.com, and then there's additional contact information on the website as well. If you want to speak with someone directly or email, go to contact page, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you just mentioned I heard a while back there was a time that you could make a telephone call and talk to somebody. Somebody, or nowadays you leave a number and pray somebody call you back.
Yeah.
So somebody leaves a number, would they get a call back?
Yeah. So I was saying previously that we are an activist pageant and a protest pageant and an opportunity pageant and an access pageant. We are a pageant of access. So yes, part of the programming is for you to be in contact, with someone of leadership within the programming that will be supportive of you throughout the journey.
Okay, so that's my question is, if you leave your telephone number, you can't expect a call back.
Yes, absolutely. If you complete the contact page, or even when you register, you'll get a call back. A motivational call back, and then you'll get an email with additional steps and that kind of thing. And there's someone available to speak with you directly if you have a question. Your
Okay,
question
that's-
won't go.
that's-
The
that's
question
fine.
won't go into oblivion.
That's what I was asking. That's the question I was asking.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the other question, if somebody want to talk to Ms. Aleta Anderson, how is that possible?
Actually, it is. It actually is. So sometimes it feels inconvenient, but it is, and that's what the program is about. So yes, and my contact information is on the website.
I know.
Yep. So.
And one of the things, okay, as we kind of wind this down here, and I thank you for taking the time on a cold Saturday, and reaching out, and if people want to get a hold of this information, this whole program will be repeated again tomorrow from 1 to 3, and also on Wednesday from 1 to 3 in its entirety. And I know you're not aware, but all I gotta say is Spotify, or as any platform you can go out there and get your podcast. You can find us.
Okay.
And you'll see this program, and that we hope that you have all the successes that you're entitled to, and that your hard work. So right now, as we wind this down, that's February the 15th through the 21st. Where's that gonna take place at?
That's correct. The pageant programming is between February 15th and 21st. The first competition is actually on February 17th, and then the Little Miss and Senior pageant. The Little Miss pageant takes place during our press conference on Friday, February 20th, and the Senior pageant takes place during that evening. And then finally on Saturday, February 21st, the 58th anniversary Miss Black America pageant will be crowned, all at G&R retreat site in Houston, Delaware, and you can find that information on the website as well. And we welcome everyone's participation. And it is an interactive program where you will be a part of the crowning, but you do have to come and learn the choreography, before the day of. And that opportunity is available as well. It'll be a great time. It's historic. Every time you will meet, people that you probably will not have encountered elsewhere, and you definitely will have wisdom imparted from every age group, and I'm sure you'll drop some wisdom as well. So check out the website, MissBlackAmerica.com. You're welcome to come and attend our programming. It is public programming, it is community programming, and outreach programming.
And Mr. Aleta Anderson, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to extend your father's legacy and the dream of Miss Black America. And that's, again, the pageantry. Also take place in Delaware, beautiful state, February 15th through 21st. So we thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful program that you made possible.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ira. Thank you for always welcoming us and for advocating for the Miss Black America pageant.